That's weird. Where's Eli? He's usually sitting on his throne. What's this? Pokemon treasure map? Let's see where it goes.
Why, hello there. I see you found my treasure map. Now you may be thinking that the treasure is these pallets and pallets of Paldean Fates product that you stumbled across, but you would be wrong. It's actually the knowledge that you're about to get from this video as we discuss our shipping operation. Let's get into it. When it comes to our shipping operation, we tend to do about $250,000 in sales a month just when it comes to shipping Pokemon ETBs, booster boxes, miscellaneous other Pokemon and Magic products. So we're gonna go through today the three main things that we are using when it comes to the shipments for our operation. So who would have guessed it? The first main one is product. Yes, of course, we need something that we're going to ship to clientele. So today I felt like it was going to be a good time to make this video because we do have Paldean Fates coming out this week. So we have 4 pallets here that we did receive at our own house. So we actually run the operation partially out of our house, which is crazy to think about. We do have a storefront location, however, in Oregon, which is receiving about another 3 pallets worth of product for Paldean Fates. So it is devised between 2 different locations, but it just really goes to show you what you're realistically able to do in terms of running your own business operation. So just a kind of snippet for those people that want to have a dream without having to pay $4 grand for an actual commercial storefront location. So what we'll typically start off by doing is just ripping up the pallet and just unveiling the product. And then from there, we go into the process of boxing up the product. ETBs obviously are going to be the prime example for today's video since it is a specialty set. So what we like to do is we like to find boxes that are going to most efficiently and effectively lower the cost of overall shipping to our customers. So if you guys don't already know, I run an extremely large wholesale program where I give people access to Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Flesh and Blood, and so much more at discounted prices. If you want to find out more about that, check the link down in the description below. But so we're doing volume at a crazy rate, and so shipping in case quantities is something we found to be the most efficient when it comes to saving people money. Typically when you're shipping elite trainer boxes, you're usually shipping in quantities of 1 or 2 cases for ETBs. So we found that most efficiently for shipping in quantities of 2 cases, you're going to have a 20 by 16 by 14. So what you're going to do is you just take your 2 boxes of ETBs, you put them in there, and then from that point, we then begin the process of making sure that the ETB cases are not going to be shuffling around. And so you'll take paper that we'll have crumpled up and we'll put it into the boxes. But we have a cool machine that I'm going to demonstrate or show to you guys. But before we look at that item, we're just going to show a little bit of the variety of boxes that we do store within our garage, we'll just call it. I like to call it the warehouse or the facility that we operate within the Arizona location. So we've got variety, like I said, because we want to make sure that prices are always the cheapest. So we've got boxes ranging from 20 by 20 by 20 to 20 18. I mean, it's just 10 different variations. We're paying about $4 a box typically. So for those of you guys that want to kind of, figure out what are you typically paying for these boxes when accounting for shipping, but you're still saving about 30 to 50% on average if you're shipping, let's say, 4 cases of booster box at a time. You can save a ton versus just shipping 1 individual one. And for your guys' own practices, right? If let's say hypothetically you're shipping 1 just regular booster box, it's going to cost you about $10 to ship that, depending upon where they live within the country, versus if you're shipping a whole case, $20. So even if you're selling, let's say the difference in price between $105 a booster versus $100 a booster case, if they buy a quantity of 6, you can still end up actually making more money because you're saving on the back end when it comes to shipping. So making sure that you're taking that into consideration with your own general operation with boxes. But moving on to the next part, which I had mentioned with you guys, which was crumpling up the paper. Now you might think, Eli, like, this is crumpling up paper. It shouldn't be that sophisticated when we're talking about the facets of running your own business. But oh yes, it is, because what we learned is that with the volume that we're doing, we are spending several hours having to pre-crumple up paper, so like rip it off of rolls of paper, boxing it up, and so the time it takes is extremely labor intensive. And then on top of that as well, this is just a huge pain in the butt because you're constantly ripping and crumbling up paper into the boxes. You get blisters and it is a huge pain in the butt. So what we ended up doing is investing in a $3,000 paper crumpling machine. It has been a lifesaver when it comes to overall efficiency. Like I said, this bad boy goes for around $3,000. You might think that's wildly expensive, but when you're doing a shipment and you're saving 2 hours each time, over the long run, you're going to save yourself a ton of money. So how it typically works is we have this little pedal that is down here. You'll just hit the pedal. Sorry, it's a little bit loud. It'll then shoot out the paper crumpled. You'll just kind of rip it. And then from there, you'll just continue to kind of do that the entire time. So you can just continuously rip paper, which allows you to kind of assembly line the system as efficiently as possible. I've talked about this a lot within my own videos. I think that the assembly line system is one of the most effective ways of going about for automation or efficiency purposes. So making it so that you have that overall process of taking the ETB cases, putting it in the box. One person is doing that while the other person is going in, bam, 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 and putting all of the crumpled up paper in the boxes and then taping it up line by line. I mean, I remember when we first started the overall operation, if we were shipping quantities of this sizes, it would take us at least, 2 to 3 days for an operation of this size. And now it's realistically gotten to the point of where it can take us, depending upon the product item, anywhere between 2 to 4 hours if we have the appropriate amount of help with around 3 to 4 people. So I've shown you guys a little bit of just kind of the operation itself, right? When it comes to the just boxes, the packaging of the paper, and the product itself. So I know it might seem a little bit lackluster of an operation, but you guys can see the quantity of scale in which we're doing stuff like this. Now, I don't think it'd be good for video purposes, but I still think it's worth having a conversation about the behind the scenes work. So this is not a sponsor at all whatsoever, but when it comes to our current operation, what we have done is we have used Shippo's automation features to allow us to get our shipping times down. So if you guys don't know, you have the ability within Shippo or potentially, other platforms. I haven't used Pirate Ship, but I know that's a popular one, to CSV import orders into their overall system. With that, if you pay for the Pro version, you can actually create templates that allows it to sync with specific imported items. So for example, right, Elite Trainer boxes, booster boxes, we do a ton of sales of those products. We know the dimensions of which we're shipping in specific quantities, and what we've been able to do with the help of Shippo's automation features is sync SKUs that we've created so that when it does get imported into Shippo's system, it allows it to automatically generate a label for us. So within that assembly line system, as mentioned previously, we'll have one person just generate all the boxes, then put the product in those boxes. One person is then going in, putting in the crumpled up paper, taping it up, and then slapping the label, and just continuously doing that in sequential order. So making sure as well that as you guys continue to scale, you're always finding ways to consistently making your operation more efficient as possible. So that way you can do it at the scale that we're currently doing it right now. And we've only been doing this entire operation for a little bit over a year now. I know Pokemart USA has been around since basically the end of 2020, start of 2021, but I wasn't really shipping this much until we started the wholesale program at the end of 2022 going into 2023. So we're extremely new to this entire operation as a whole. So it's been a progression of learning consistently. You guys will get to follow my channel and my journey as you see us constantly find ways to always be innovative in efficiency. But this is kind of a behind the scenes look and just a little bit of a teaser of what a full-time operation looks like for a business that does about $3 million+ in sale a year.